All right, so today we are talking about from start to finish working with a renter. So just to breeze past what we've already done to kind of make it abridged. So we had our initial conversation with the renter, and we were making we were asking qualifying questions early on out the gate, right? Of course, we want to find out what their criteria is and build a little bit of rapport, but it's very important that we ask those qualifying questions. The two primary main criteria for rentals are income and credit score. So as far as credit score is concerned, generally 600 is like the floor, but most private owners or management companies are looking for 650 and above. Uh, and you might be able to get like a hood condo between 580 and 600, but really, if they're under 600, it might be more work essentially, right? So that's why we want to cover ourselves, and I'm going to show you the process that I'm going to show you today. Also, as far as the income on rentals, generally the floor is 2 times the rent as income every single month. So as long as their income is double the rent, then that shouldn't be an issue. Sometimes half or more, and I've even seen 3 times sometimes. But generally, as long as they're 2 times, it won't be too big of an issue if their credit's good.
To verify the income for rent.
Yeah, they could ask them for like W-2s, or they sometimes they'll ask for there's pay stubs or even bank accounts. Depends what they're asking.
So they ask, or you can ask.
Well, you gotta ask them. I gotta reach out to the agent who visited, who's the managing agent of that place. They have their instructions. I'll show you right now in the app. It tells you most of the stuff.
Then before that, do you have to ask your client, like, I need
Yeah.
to see verification of income, or?
Yeah, so we don't have to ask them to verify for us per se.
Okay.
But we do want to ask them and be sure that they understand that this has to be on paper, like this has to be on your paycheck stub, because the person that we submit the application to, they will be checking their credit and they will be requesting those paycheck stubs. So as long as
But we don't see them, right? We don't request for them to give it to us, right? We just request that they have that.
Yeah, so when we submit the application, if it's not an online application that they do on their own, there is a GL or Greater Las Vegas area realtor or whatever. There is like a MLS application. If we have to do the MLS application, in that case, we will be receiving their pay stubs and stuff like that when we send over the application via email.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's go ahead and get into creating the search. Now, this is something that I believe was briefly covered a while back, just in a general sense, but I think that was before we got you involved. So let me get my video working here again. There we go. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and create a search. Hit the search bar. I'll backtrack. When you're in your home screen, go ahead and click on that matrix. Hit the search. And if we're looking for regular homes, we're going to click residential, fourplexes, duplexes, multiple dwelling, something that's a high rise, like on the strip or something. It's just straight up land. But we're actually looking for rentals right now. So we're going to click on that residential rental. And these are pretty much all privately owned. A lot of them are managed by property managers. So what we want to do is we want to find the active and the coming soon. We're not really concerned about what's under contract because they already have accepted an application. And even if it says under contract show, they're still under contract. So it's probably not going to be worth our time. So we won't even send that to the client. We're just going to show them the actives and the coming soon. All right. So when we talk to that client, we're gonna find out what they're looking for in a home, right? So we're gonna find out what's your minimum bedrooms, minimum baths. Are you open to townhomes and condos, or are you only looking for single family homes? Uh, is a garage a requirement? What part of town are you looking for? and also what's your budget? And then when we find out what their budget is, we also, of course, find out, because we're asking them those qualifying questions, what their income is. So we know if their budget is half of their income or less. And if it is, green light. If their budget or the number that they say they're looking for is over half of their income, then we have to advise them, hey, we can only do 2 times the income or half the income as the rental payment. So let's go ahead and cut that down. So let me pull up my notes from our conversation yesterday. There we go. All right, so she let us know that her income was about 4,800. So that means that she can afford or apply for a home up to 2,400. Now, with that being said, she said that she would like to stay around 1,900 to 2,100, starting around that 1,900 point. So we're going to go ahead and go in price here. Type in 1,900 to 2,100. Now, she mentioned that she's interested in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So we'll go ahead and type 3 plus in the bedrooms. And the plus just means 3 or above. And then for baths, she said 2. So we'll put 2 plus, 2 or above is acceptable. And then she said she prefers a 2-story. Of course, it's not a deal breaker. So because there's likely going to be a whole lot of options, we'll start off with that checked. And then if we find that there's not enough options, like let's say her income is low, so we have to narrow the search down or whatever it may be, that would minimize our search criteria. Or even if it's a specific area, then we might uncheck that because it's not a deal breaker. But for now, let's go ahead and narrow this search down to 2 stories. She said that she is okay with townhomes and single family homes, but isn't really interested in the condo. So what we'll do is we'll scroll down, single family home, and we're gonna go ahead and hit Command or Shift should work as well, but I'll hit Command and hit the townhouse. So both are checked. Now from here, got our price, bed, bath, types. Let's see, is there anything else? Now, she let me know that she was interested also, or let us know that she was interested in a certain area. So let's go ahead and go over the map. So she mentioned 89178, and there's so many ways you can go about playing around with this search. I like to just pinpoint them in my map first. So she said 89178, and she says southwest. So since she's interested in that southwest area, I'm going to go ahead and do the free draw. I use this tool a lot, honestly, the free draw, when I'm creating home searches. So since she's interested in more so southwest, I might even bring her up here because I know she's interested in just west in general. Come all the way down, and we'll keep it west. Close that up. Boom. So there's 100. That being said, boom, I can go ahead and bring that down and reduce those options because there's so many. All right. So that being said, now we have not only area or location, but we also have all the other criteria in there. She does prefer a 2-car garage, but she's open-minded. So let's go ahead and do 1 plus because there are some townhomes without garages. How many did that take off? So it went from, if you look down here, that only took off 2. So let's go ahead and do 2+ in the garage. All right. So this would be a search that I could then send to her. So I'm going to go ahead and send it to somebody. I'm just going to show you guys how to do it. But one, I'm going to have you working with her. So I don't need to necessarily put her information in there. If you want to create a new contact, so for you, one, you would be putting her name in there. Sophia, put in her information, whatever. I'm just going to send this to me for the sake of the example. If per se she was looking with her husband or a partner or a kid or whoever, you can always send this to 2 emails or actually multiple at a time. Just separate them by a comma. So always have the main person in the contact so they have the privilege to edit, favorite, trash, and just kind of tweak the listings that we send them. And then the people who don't need necessarily access or permission to discard, favorite, and do things like that, you could just add them in here and separate them by a comma. You can choose if you want to also send the link via SMS text message. I don't do that for most people, but if someone says, hey, send it to my phone, I rather deal with my phone than my email. That's cool. Delete that. And subject, whatever you want to name it, list of rental homes. And then I like to do the equal than or greater than sign. So I'll say equal to or less than. Well, this is just less than, of course, but 21. Or however you want to put it. You could put 3 bed, 2 bath, whatever description you want to do is fine. And then down here, I usually always uncheck this box. If it's checked, show this contact and reverse prospecting results. That just allows other agents to see your search criteria and directly reach out to you, say, hey, my house matches your property search. Show it to that client. The client is going to tell us, the agent isn't going to try to market to us. So uncheck that. And then you can always determine what days you send it out. I always keep it all the same unless it's like someone who's not ready anytime soon. Then maybe I'll just send it to them every other day. And you can also do ASAP. I don't do that often, but if there's not a lot of homes, you can click that box. Just know if multiple properties go on the market, or multiple properties have a property or a price change, or even go, from under contract back to active, they will get an email with every single alert during that day. So it will be multiple alerts if there's a lot of activity. That's why I just opt for daily email. Then save, boom, and they're going to be getting that email automatic. You don't have to keep going in there and looking, oh, there's some new stuff. Let me manually send that over. Don't do that. Put them on an auto list and relax. All right. And then they'll tell you what they like. So from here, she told us 2 addresses. Let's go ahead and see if we can find them. So one of the properties was 5902. 592. What was it, like Willow or something?
Yeah, it was Willow. No, I just drove off. I left my notes on my kitchen table, but it was Willow.
Trace Ave.
There you go. Sounds better. Yep.
All right, cool. I just pulled it up. It's new. I always read the public remark and the agent remark, see if they have any specifics on the credit. So here, nothing specific on the public remarks. Says, for showings, please do not use showing time. Property is rented as is. If there's any questions, please have them answered before directing your clients to apply. Application fee is not refundable. Credit, rent history, and income will be verified. Only qualified prospects should apply. Tenant and tenant's agent should verify all community school, blah, 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 blah. All right, so with that being said, we know the condition of this renter is that her credit score is somewhere around 580, but her income is 4,800. So as I directed Juan, and because it's, we would do this with a real property too, but especially with rentals, if their credit is not 650 or above. Their credit is below, it's very mandatory that you call that agent or that property management company and ask, hey, this is a situation. Their credit is 580, but their income is this. Would you be willing to consider this applicant? Would it make sense for us to show the home and submit an application? And even if you don't call for that, if their credit is good, you would still want to call or text, right? You can always text, but usually with the rentals, you're dealing with a property manager and not like an agent. So call or text and ask, hey, how many applications do you have? Do you have any? Are you expecting any? So I'm going to go ahead and call Raymond.
Hello, this is.
Hey, Raymond.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, brother? It's Deshaun with Realty One Group. I'm calling about your rental listing, 5902 Willow Trace.
Yes, how can I help you with that?
Yes, sir. So I have a renter here. I want to give you the scenario. So right now her credit is sitting around 580, but her income is over 2 times the rent. Is this an applicant you consider or no?
Probably not.
Okay, cool, man. I appreciate you.
You got it. No problem.
All right, bye-bye. That's simple. I just saved myself like 45 minutes of a drive there and back.
Absolutely. Yep.
So boom. So we can tell her Willow Trace is out. And then the other one, 9920. Stable. Okay. I don't know if this one is still available or not. 9920. Let's see. Probably spelling it wrong. Yeah, I can't remember what this other one is. I don't know if you wrote it down. Stable.
I did, but I left it on my kitchen table. I had to go pick up my son, so I'm driving her now.
Oh, that's no problem. That's no problem. So 6 matches, results. All right, so I'll just pretty much have you repeat what I did, but there you go. I just gave him the scenario, and it's not like I was bashing the client or anything. I literally just let them know, hey, this is their credit score. Their income is over 2 times the rent. Is this an applicant you guys would consider? So easy conversation, and they'll be honest. They'll say yes or no to avoid wasting both of our times. So after you call whatever she's interested in, now there will be times where you'll find that they actually include the criteria in the listing. And in that case, of course, you could call if you wanted to, but if they take the time to put that inside the description, more than likely that's what they want. That's what they're looking for. So you might not even have to do that call. You could just let the person know, hey, this is the minimum credit score. Keep it pushing. And then they'll send you another one. So I would say go ahead and go through it. And if after between say 6 and 10, properties, you reach out to the agent and they're just not messing with it, then we know, okay, we have a ceiling or we have a floor. We have a floor. We've done the work. Send them that link to apartments.com. So with some of these, you might have to schedule a showing through showing time. With some of them, you reach out directly to the listing agent. It'll usually tell you in the showing instructions somewhere or in the agent remarks somewhere. Let me see. The phone is a lot more user-friendly when it comes to showing instructions. Let me see where it is. Showing is key any vacant. So this one is vacant, so I don't have to talk to anybody. And looks like they have a lockbox on the gas meter. So I would just use my app. Blaine, this was what I was talking about when I was talking about the Century Key access. So when we went into my fourplex, that's what I use, my Century Key to open that box. So it's literally like a Bluetooth enabled thing. And you just go up to it. You press enter on the lockbox. Juan already knows this, but when you get to the lockbox, you press enter with your app open, and then it's going to register on your phone. And then I set up facial recognition, or you can have a 4-digit PIN. Boom, access it, and then it'll give you a green check mark. The box will open, grab that key, and then close it. And then you'll just do that again on your way out. Now, when it comes time to apply, there's a few different ways to apply. Some of them are online applications, and I personally prefer those and love those because it makes my job easier. So here, for example, it says GLVAR form with a copy of driver's license. Please provide proof of income, W-2 form, for a copy of most recent pay stub. See, so they're a stickler, right? Like we call them, they're probably going to tell us the same thing because it looked like they're strict. 3 months, most recent bank statements, they're going back, you know. 2 years tax returns if self-employed. That's a whole lot for a rental property. That's why I tell people sometimes it's easier to buy a house than to rent a privately owned house, because rightfully so, right? After COVID, during COVID, they were letting these renters get away with craziness, get away with not paying rent for months and months and months. So renters or homeowners and investors aren't trying to have it. So they're making sure that they really, really vet whoever they put in their homes, understandably so. So with that being said, the GLVAR application, what is that? So let's go back to when you log into the MLS. We're going to go ahead and go to transaction desk. And this video I'm going to post up to our YouTube, so you guys can always refer back to this, skip as you need to, just so you see the process nice and clear. We actually made the phone call together, so it should be no questions after this. So now that we're in transaction desk, there's a few ways you can go about it. Let me go ahead and just create a transaction just to really make it all clear. So I'm going to say Sophia, whatever her last name is, blah, 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 blah. And just for our purpose, test. See, so there's no template for the renter. That's fine. We don't really need one. Type residential lease. Import data. Let's see. So we can import it. Let's see if it works for the rental. I don't even know. Never mind. We won't import it. I already closed out of it. Just kidding. I didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the MLS number. Usually can be found towards the top. There we go. Top left. Copy that. So Crescent Landing. Go back. Import the data from GLVAR. Paste that MLS number in there. And now here, I think this was on the exam. So Listing agent and selling agent. Listing agent is always the agent who has the listing or is working with the seller or the owner who's going to rent it out. The selling agent, even though it's really weird verbiage, is the buyer's agent or the renter's agent. So create. Boom. So they actually did put in the information and auto-populated all the property info or most of it for me, which I like. Then we'll go to forms on the right dash, and we're going to click add forms. Realty One Group. And then go ahead and scroll down, and we're looking for like a residential lease application or something of the sorts. Something of the sorts. Okay, let me see. Here we go. Oh, no, that's an addendum. Hold up. For the residential forms. Okay, so residential lease agreement. I think this is it. Let's see. Let's see. Nah. Oh, yep. Wait. Nope. So this is once they actually get the property or their application accepted. Rental application. There we go. So check it, add it. So I'll go back and show you guys where I found it. So click add forms. Instead of Realty One Group, because it wasn't actually in here, interestingly enough, you're going to go to residential forms, and then you'll find rental. So just go down to the R's, rental application. Boom. Go ahead and open it up. So I auto-populated the address. I would typically, you can pre-type it in there, then send it to them, but usually I'll just send them the GLVAR app. And then if I really felt like it, I would put that information in here afterwards. But when you send it to them, you're going to have them put in as much of the information as they can below this line. So they don't have to fill out these numbers right here. Of course, before you send it to them, put your name, public ID, and your license number, and our brokerage, Realty One Group. So they're gonna fill out all this stuff, all this good stuff, all that. And then send it back to you. And you'll take this form you'll take, what else were they asking for? You'll have them also send with it whatever they're requesting. So here they're requesting 4 of their pay stubs, their W-2, their 3 bank statements, 3 months of it, not just 3. They're asking for 2 years of tax returns, and probably, a copy of driver's license. So they want to see all that. So have the buyer, or the renter, send you all that via email. So that way, once they send you the application as well, you can grab it all and send it all at once. Now let's look at, I think there was one more thing that I needed to, wanted to show you. What is it? Oh, yes. Okay. So how do I send this form to the client? So you're going to go ahead and go up to File. You're going to go ahead and go to Send. And there's multiple ways you can go about it, but usually email is just easy. So it's going to ask, what do you want to send? I'm going to send the email, the rental application. Okay. Type in their information. Usually it's easier to just send it as an attachment and not as a link. That way they can download it to their computer like a PDF, and they don't have to worry about starting it and not being able to access it anymore. So just go ahead and send it as an attachment and they'll fill it out. But I don't have everyone fill that form out from the jump, because there will be times where they're interested in a property where they do have an online link for the application. I'm trying to see. Here we go. Here's an example. It says to submit an app, go to vegasrentnow.com. And then you'll just tell them, okay, this is what they need. Go to the website. They'll do all the work. You only have to show them the home. Easy peasy. Make sure that if they do the online application, that you reach out to the agent, so that way you get your commission. Because if they just submit their information, they may or may not ask them what agent showed them the house. So if they don't, then you're gonna be calling them after they living in the house, like, give me my money. You don't want that to happen. So call them when you tell you tell the client the link to apply. And I think that was pretty comprehensive. Any questions about the process of creating a search for the renter, the initial conversation, and the qualifying questions and the qualifying criteria for the renter, reaching out to the property management company or agent who listed it, and seeing if they would entertain your applicant if they have a questionable credit score or questionable income that's on the cusp of what they're accepting, or even if they do have good information, asking, do you currently have any applications in, or are you expecting any? Because we don't want to just, take advantage of the renters rental application money, because most applications do require a fee.
So
To
when do you pay that, Sean? So if you send all the information and they send you everything through email, when do they pay that rental fee, application fee?
Yeah, so if it's through email, usually the property management company or the agent will coordinate that with them. So you wouldn't have to like mail it immediately or do anything. You would just really want to send over all the information, and then the agent will coordinate that, whether it's
Okay.
online or check.
Okay.
Yeah. So any questions on from either of you guys?
No, I think it's straightforward. It's good.
Cool. Yeah, and then of course, less homes you show, less you got to drive. But of course, these phone calls save lives. So this is gonna save our time a lot. Uh, that is it. So let's go ahead and schedule out our next meeting. I do want to do kind of like a little bit more of a reflective session where we kind of set our goals for the year. It is the beginning of the year. Set our intentions with real estate, what we want it to do for us and what we're willing to give it. And then of course, if not during our next meeting, at least the meeting after that, which will still be within the next week, I'm going to talk about some different lead generation sources, one of which is free. In fact, I'll give you guys a quick little sneak peek here. Let me actually stop our recording now that we're done with the rental part.